This is Joshua Hart here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by the main event this weekend, Jack Catterall, here in Manchester. Jack, first of all, happy birthday for yesterday.
Thank you very much.
I know probably not the ideal birthday on a fight. We sure you probably wanted to have a nice day out maybe, but instead you spent an hour on a rooftop waiting for Harlem Eubank. Not ideal, is it, at all?
You know what, it weren't ideal. Listen, we've got a job to do, and part of the fight week commitments was to do a face-off on the roof of Victoria Warehouse, which we turned up for. We was on time, was with the team. We had a laugh, and we did some promotion work, and then just as I was ready to leave, after waiting for well over an hour, he turned up. So we did a quick face-off, and that was that. I was home.
Can't fault it at all. Talking of this weekend, there's a real sense of, I guess we could say, unknown around Harlem Eubank and his level. Is there anything you're reading into, or are you just focused on being the best Jack Catterall?
Yeah, I think you've got to remain focused on being the best version of yourself, and that goes with a lot of fighters, with a lot of fights. It's the unknown. I've heard rumours and I'm over the hill. He's the next best thing, and vice versa, that he's not so great, and it doesn't really matter. You've got to be prepared for anything. What I will say is I prepared well. I feel good. Expect him to come on Saturday. There's a lot to gain, and from both sides, I feel like there is more pressure on me coming off a defeat. But that being said, I could have picked easier fights maybe to come back against on an undercard, but that's not in my DNA. I want to fight the best, and Harlem for me was, I wouldn't say the best, but it was the right fight. A domestic name, a surname that people know of, an undefeated fighter, and that certainly got the fire in my belly to get excited to fight him.
Just before we continue talking about Harlem, I feel like I want to quickly go back and talk about the run of fights that you have had recently. You know, you've gone from, I guess, go all the way back to Darragh Foley nearly 2 years, or just over 2 years ago now, to Linares, to the Taylor rematch, Prograis, and obviously finally Barboza. A lot of the talk over that whole time after the Taylor rematch was world title next, and we got close with the interim, but was there a bit of frustration kicking in, I guess you could say? Obviously constantly thinking, yeah, the world title's coming, but then it's, one more fight, and it's a narrative that the fans kind of thought we were hearing for a while. Was that a bit frustrating with you as well?
You know what, it was and it is, and I feel like I've been in that position, if we rewind like maybe a couple of years ago, before I signed with Matchroom, where it was constantly being manager, being number one, but there was always unification or the politics of boxing, and with COVID, then with this, like, there was always something, do you know what I mean? But I can't sit here and cry about it. I've had a great run with Matchroom since the Foley fight. I fell short in the last fight, narrow margins, but I've got to do better, and I will do better Saturday.
How did you deal with the defeat to Barboza? Obviously, I know you've had the defeat to Taylor, but that was I'm sure that was a much different feeling to Barboza, because Taylor was, to this day, probably still one of the biggest robberies a lot of us have seen. Barboza, it was a very close fight, and one where anyone could have got the decision on a different day. What were those few days and weeks like after the fight for yourself?
It was frustrating. Probably the first 24, 48 hours is the worst. You're overthinking everything, and I'm competitive, so nobody likes to get beat. You're fighting in Manchester in front of hometown support, and I felt like I let myself down, but I don't sit there in a dark room depressed about it. Life goes on. I've got a great team, a great family, and it really, in a sense, motivated me to be better, do better, and that's what I intend to do. Took myself out of my comfort zone, went to America, training in different gyms, meeting and learning new things, meeting new people. Come back home with that fire in my belly, and I'm here now, ready for it.
And up at 147 now as well. What was the reason for moving up to 147? Because I saw an interview with Boxing Scene, I believe, where you said you could still make 140 comfortably. Why now to go up to welterweight?
You know what? When this fight was offered, it was offered at welterweight. Sam rang me, so we could do it at 147. Why not? Do you know what I mean? Been making 140 throughout my whole career. So I'm not growing any taller, and I can still make 140. Yeah, it's not the easiest weight to make, but I've seen Harlem fight. I think he's boxed at welterweight twice. He's boxed at 140. So it was like a great fight to make at welterweight.
How much pressure do you feel there is on your shoulders this weekend? So a lot of people, and I'm sure you and Jamie and the team might see it differently, but a lot of people are saying this is a sink or swim. Do you guys see it similarly to that, or are you confident?
You know what, I don't overthink it. My main focus is beating Harlem Saturday. I understand 2 back-to-back defeats isn't no good for my career at all at this stage, but I can't think about that. I prepared too hard, I've trained too hard, sacrificed so much, so all I'm thinking about is winning on Saturday.
Absolutely. And where would you like to go on after a win over Harlem? Where do you think that takes you?
You know what, I'll leave that to Sam Jones, Jamie Moore, Eddie Hearn, Frank Smith. All that I can think about this week and be focused on is going in that ring, being better than last time and beating Harlem.
Absolutely. Do you expect to see an appearance from Eubank Sr or Eubank Jr maybe this weekend?
You know what, who knows? I know both of them men live very busy lives. Whether they come and support Harlem, we'll see. It makes no odds to me.
And just lastly from me, we have seen the announcement, obviously, Eubank Jr versus Benn too. Benn obviously being a career natural welterweight, now up at middleweight. How do you see the rematch playing out?
You know what, it was an unbelievable fight. I remember watching it, one of the best fights I've seen. I wasn't there live. I'd like to get to this next one, but I think it's not going to be another great fight, and I'm going for Conor Benn for the win.
Do you believe he stops Eubank this time?
Definitely capable of it.
Just one thing on that as well, obviously, as a fighter, you've cut weight before, you know what it's like to make weight. A lot of talk about Eubank and making weight and having the same rehydration clause as last time. Do you feel it's safe for him to go back down there? So we saw after the fight him being admitted into hospital for 2 days. Do you think it's safe for him to go back down and have to hold himself down there for a little bit longer?
You know what, everybody's weight situation and weight making situation is unique to them. There's weight classes for a reason. I know some people are going to 2 extreme lengths. I don't know, I can't comment on it.
Yeah, fair enough.
I wish him to be safe and well, like I wish every fighter, but that's their business.
And just lastly, have you got a message for the fans watching on DAZN and also tuning or live watching in the Manchester Arena?
Yeah, you know what, again, very humbled by the support. These last couple of years I've been active, which I've been crying out for throughout my whole career, to be more active, getting big fights. I've boxed in Liverpool, Leeds, last couple in Manchester, so very grateful for people that spend the hard-earned money to come out and buy tickets to watch the fights on Saturday. There's a lot of great fights on the card on Saturday, so get there early, watch the fights and support the lads, and we're all grateful.
Just obviously you mentioned being active. How nice has that been to have that activity again and have that backing from a promoter? You
know what, it's been really good. Like I said, there's been points in my career where I've been fit and ready, training in the gym, not getting the opportunities, not getting the fights, so to be with a promotional outfit that are giving me dates in these last year or so, headlining me, it's a dream come true.
Jack, top man, really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Best luck this weekend.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, Jack. Thank you very much.